Long time no see. So, I got a new topper for my Whirlwind. The old one was cracked and cloudy and all this other stuff. It had strips of plywood holding it down because the screw holes were just broken through, as you can see. The other thing is the hooks that hook the playfield into the cabinet, when those come up, when you put the playfield up, they tend to hit against the dome, and you can see a crack right there. And on the other side, because they had it flipped around at one point, there's a big crack right there. And it looks like they tried to tape it or something. All the screw holes are trashed too. See the original Williams sticker right there. This thing was just in need of repair. There's some sticker on top here. God only knows what that was. So I got a new one from Starship Fantasy, which is really nice. I was skeptical to see how this was going to come out, but it's apparently made from the tooling, the original tooling that Williams used. And what a difference. I think it's even a little bit thicker than the original. So we are gonna stick this on our game. Finally, it's been years, or at least a year. We also fixed the topper. I don't know if you remember when I first showed you this, only half the bulbs were working. And in a lesson of trying to go with the easiest solution first, it wasn't the fact that my chaser board was bad in the head. It wasn't the fact that, well, I did have this socket here. I desoldered itself all the way on the right. It wasn't the fact that, whoa, sorry about that. Hit the flipper button. It wasn't the fact that there was something wrong with the board, there was something wrong with the wiring. What it was every other bulb was burnt out. And part of the reason every other bulb was burnt out was because they used 555 bulbs in here. They used regular wedge bulbs. These are supposed to be 194 bulbs, which are a little bit higher voltage than your average 555s. And they do stay nice and or fairly cool. The 555s were getting blazing hot. These were still a little hot, but not super hot. So we also moved the wiring away from touching the bulbs. We had some wires touching the bulbs in some places, causing some problems. You can see a little melt spot up there, maybe. Right now it's fine though. So we're gonna put our bracket back up there. I'm gonna put, there's our bracket. And what we don't need are these. These are little pieces of wood that someone painted to hold down the topper dome on each side, since the screw holes were so beat up. But we're gonna do that right now. We're gonna put our bracket back in with our security screws and put our topper on there. We also found out that half the back glass wasn't being lit up because we had a blown fuse. That apparently was blown since I got the thing. I really wasn't in the state of mind to redo this whole thing at the time, so I'm gonna go through. I figured out that the light board, the river light board, had a bad header. I resoldered that, so now the lights work on that. And yeah, figured out what's going on with the back box. And we figured out what's going on with our chaser lights. I also, I'll tell the story later, but I also ran into a friend of mine who went into a house that's selling a whole bunch of arcade games and pinball machines and jukeboxes. And I wound up grabbing a whole bunch of those that are not here yet, but they will be when she's ready for me to come get them. And I got a good deal on that, so I grabbed a whole bunch of stuff. She just wanted it gone. So anyway, maybe I'll see you guys a little bit more often, maybe not. We'll see what the future holds. I'll be back and I'll show you the topper all nice and clean and new looking like. Ah, very nice. So there you go. I don't know if you remember too, if I already said it, but when every other bulb is flashing, if it looks like your waterfall is flowing up instead of down, that means every other bulb is not working. It just has that effect. I'm sure there's some scientific explanation for it, but As you can see now, our waterfall is flowing down. A little bit of a crease in the decal, but hey, you know, for original decal, it's fine at me. I'm not gonna complain. There you go. We got the metal guard back on. I only put 3 screws, 1 up here and 2 in the back, because it seemed to hold on just fine. And I really didn't feel like tempting the fates about over tightening things. Half the original, well, more than half the original screws are missing, so I just used a couple screws that look like that's where they went. They fit, they didn't force anything, and we're gonna call it good. So there you go. And I also have new glass coming for this. And after, I don't know, almost 20 years, I have new glass coming for that too, because that's been with the same piece of scratched, crappy glass that I bought this thing with many years ago in Connecticut. So that's all for now. Like I said, maybe we'll come back and I'll show you my haul, and we'll take videos of what we're doing with that. So I'll talk to you soon.